What up, everybody? This is Cody, your boy. Bruh! See, I remember to do it this time. Um, and I really don't have a plan for this video, man. I'm pumped up. I'm really pumped up on life and just like I'm just really feeling it tonight. You know what I mean? And just like I just feel like I pulled up some images of Lorne and I'm just gonna fucking go with it and we'll see where this goes. Like I don't think it's any secret. Like I'm a fucking spaceman. You know what I mean? I'm a fucking space monster. And if you don't like that, man, fucking duck that thumbs down and just bounce, homie. Like fucking other than that, fucking hang on to your fucking ass because I'm gonna say some weird shit. And here we go. Here we go. Okay. Bam. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna qualify what I'm about to say. I guess I'm warming up. You know, like you ever like write a poem or something, you know, or like a song, and you have to like duck that first paragraph or a paper. You know what I mean? Like if you're just more intellectually, you know, if you've been to college or if you have not been to college, probably like, you know what I'm talking about. Like the first part of something, you got to scrap it. You know, like you're just warming up. You know what I mean? Like getting into character, or whatever you call it. You know what I mean? Getting the feel, getting the feeler for what's going on. But what I wanted to discuss, what I was kind of thinking was like, what the fuck are we doing, guys? You know what I mean? What are we doing? Why do we have a bunch of pictures of this guy that we can just pull up and fucking we just know all the story? You can see it. Look at him fucking going through it. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch, but I just wanted to pull up some general Lorns and just talk about it. Like, what is this about? You know, is it the like there's only one story theory? You know, like, and I think I'm making this up, but I'm sure you could look it up and like find shit on it. You know what I mean? But because everything that's true is true for everybody. You know what I mean? It's not just your truth. It's if you find your real truth, then it's everybody's truth, and there's no other way. And I think that the longer you fight that, the more you end up like Lorne. You know, I think I just hit the fuck out of my knee on my little computer desk here. Fuck, ouch. But anyway, so whatever that thing is, you know, the story of Lorne, it just becomes more and more like something from Shakespeare. It becomes more and more just like mythical, and the more you add to the mythos, you know, and the more he talks to people, the more he just fucking becomes this character. If that's even who he was, you know? I mean, who knows if that's always been Lorne? I don't think so. I think there was a time when he was good and when he had like really I think in that and I think that that's why he has such a hard time admitting what he did was wrong sometimes because he just feels like you're all one thing or you're all another thing, and I think that's a mistake. I mean, I'm willing to like not. I think it's great what everybody's done with him, you know, to warn everybody of what he really is, because that's what he's chosen to be. He didn't have to react the way he reacted to the catfishes. He didn't have to do that, you know. He didn't have to be like answering the phone and being lonely like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's always a way. There's always a way in life, man. Like, no matter where you're at and whatever you've done, you're always redeemable, I think. And I feel like he feels unredeemable. So he just tries to appear as redeemable as possible, and in the process, because he's so transparent, he just looks, you know, even more irredeemable. And the more you see of him, the more you know that, and that's why I think that we're that way about him. And I don't think that he's more that way or less that way than other predators. He's just lonely as fuck because of his situation, and he just takes that bait over and over because it's better than facing what he is. And I think what happens to people like this, like if I'm being real, I think they get recycled. I think he's already dead. Like whatever was good in him left this world and traveled either into another human or into another dimension or whatever, and traveled on, and what's left is just this fucking ugly little shell. You know what I mean? And I think it was like leaving him. Like, I don't know, I'm tripping on some ghost shit or something. You know what I mean? Like, or is there still a spark in him? What do you think? Like, I don't know. I sometimes think there's still a spark of life in him. Like, there's something good inside of Lorne Armstrong. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that's like controversial or whatever to say that. And I'm just fucking. Honestly, I'm not married to the statement. I might change my mind tomorrow, but just looking at these pictures and talking with you guys, and in the context of Lorneography and what good has come from Lorneography. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, Betty. Okay, was ripped off by a young Lorne Armstrong, right? Who was probably trying to make a fucking fuck shack in the woods with his money. If you see my other video, he's trying to make a sex bunker with his friend Tony, or maybe not. Maybe he was just seat of his pants trying to impress people. Maybe they talked him into the scam and he was the fall guy. But guess what, homie? you know, maybe if you'd have paid attention earlier in life and faced those realities earlier in life, you would have realized that's always been the way, bro. Like, I was a kid and I had like neighborhood kids and shit, like try to fucking talk shit on me and do this and that, make me do these things and make do their and I look like a fool and whatever. But I faced that shit early on, bro. And like, I think the longer you run from yourself, bro, like the more you're gonna be a fucking, uh, um, you know, outside of what you think is like your truth, you know, which that's why Lorne always says, like, I didn't want to do it. I did not want to be that way. I'm not, you know, I didn't want to go. It's because what he's saying, and Tiffany pointed this out, was that, um, he didn't want to be that kind of guy, but he was. And instead of facing up to what he was and fighting against it, he decided to just ignore it. And what happened? It grew. It grew inside of him. That selfishness, which is it's what it really is, selfishness. He valued his own desires over the fucking what was good for the person and for the whole good of the world. Because what you do when you do that kind of stuff, I was talking about this with my neighbor. We had a couple beers earlier, you know, and we were just talking shit. He's an old ass Mexican dude, and he's fucking, you know, just a cool old dude, man. And, you know, we were both in the army and whatnot, and you know, we've seen some things, we've done some things. He was in prison, you know what I mean? But what we talked about is when you beat somebody in a fight, or you go at something violently and you conquer another person and you bring another person under your control, which is what a fight is, right? It's what fucking and fighting, that's what, you know, it's all the same, you know, what was that Sublime? Fucking and fighting, it's all the same. You know what I mean? What he's saying is that you're trying to win something, you're trying to get dominion over another person, and that will always, no matter what you take from somebody, you take from infinitely more people because that person feels a hole, and to fill that hole sometimes they take. And the best thing you can do is break that cycle and just learn to be like peaceful and be cool and to fight your demon, fight your demon. And if you would have fought that demon back before you became this guy, and I think he knew all that. I think there's a lot more to learn than what we see, you know, like I think that he knows that this is all a fucking charade, and he just knows it's his best possible outcome. And I think whatever good was in him left. Look at this. I think it's the last spark of like hopeful Lorne. I think he had hope here. I think maybe somebody was hyping him up. I don't know what date this is. Oh, 2009. So he was in the middle of his prison sentence. Probably he was working on his fucking appeals and all this shit and talking to people, shithouse lawyers. We used to call them in the army. You know what I mean? Like and like you had like fucking you know, these fucking prison lawyers that are telling this fool, like, hey, homie, like, you don't have to do your time. There's this other guy who had a lawsuit. Look at that. They don't even make the show anymore. And look at you. You're a victim. And he's like, oh, I'm a victim. I'm Lorne. Blah, 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 blah. And he bought that shit because rather than facing up to what the fuck he was and passing his sex offender treatment and just being like, you know what, I fucked up. I wanted to fuck a child. It turned me on. Let's go over what that's about and why that is and how I can never do that again and what steps can I take and am I a threat? You know, honestly, I would have put the bullet in my head too, bro. I would have done it before his point though. If I ever felt like I wanted to fuck a child, you know, if I ever started planning fucking a child, I would shoot myself in the fucking head. And if I ever commit suicide, dog, that's why I did it, bro. Because I was thinking about victimizing somebody. And look at all the ugliness he has caused, but look at all the good he has caused. Okay, this man. Back to what I was saying. I'm sorry, I talk in big circles. You know, I'm a silly fellow. I don't have much of an attention span. You know what I'm saying? But look, that young man, he fucking conned fucking Betty, and there was an ugliness perpetrated on him. Maybe like I'm saying, he was the fall guy, but he was a fucking sucker. And instead of fucking being like, damn, I was a sucker, I'm gonna disassociate from those people, and those people he ran from it. And he could have just fessed up, went to the jailhouse, bro. And like, what would that have been? Like, if he went to the jailhouse and like faced up to his bullshit, did time for that, he would have been an honorable inmate. They would not have fucked with him. He would not have had to be in PC. You know what I mean? He would have had his fucking rep. And he could have got out and been like, you know what? I fucked up. I defrauded some people. I fucked up and I'm going to pay for it. Whatever it takes. You know what I mean? And did his thing. He would have been, he made money as a trucker. You know, he has job skills. He wasn't a total fucking idiot. As funny as it is to make fun of him. Like, you know, he fucked up. But he knew how to do basic shit. He could be a handyman. You know, I wouldn't trust him to build some shit. But handyman bullshit. Install a dryer. He probably did that good. You know what I mean? It's all a vent or some bullshit. He's just out of his fucking league, and he knew it. And I think he was taking advantage of it. And I think he's been taking advantage of his whole fucking life because he's a pushover. And he's got something nasty inside of himself that he keeps feeding. You know what I mean? And yeah, like, you know, but instead he took the wrong path. And what happens when you do that? Like, you build an ugliness. And thank God, like, Killer was not a real victim, and I know he has real victims, you know, and he needs to face that shit, and that's the only thing that will redeem this man. Look how fucking terrible he looks. Look at his soul. Look at his soul. See, the spark is gone there too. It's gone there. What does he have? One fucking shirt? Is this the fucking same shirt he was arrested in? What's going on with that? Anyway, he knew he fucked up. He had a chance here. He still had a chance. He had a chance here. Look at the hope that gave him. And that should have, you know, that lawsuit shit. He should have allowed that good feeling to grow and try to turn it into something positive. You know, I fucked up. I wanted to fuck a kid. You know, if I have to spend the whole rest of my life proving that that's not what I wanted to do, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fucking show you what kind of man I can be for the rest of my life. And if he lives another 50 years, many people will still not forgive him, but at least he could say when he died, like, I never did it again. I'm very sorry for what I did, you know, and if somebody, you know, and somebody might love that person, you know, some women might be like, you know, I love that person. I think there's something so good in there, and he fucked up, and I'm imperfect too. Maybe she fucked up big. But Lorne would never accept a woman like that because she was not perfect. She was not unsoiled, because he thought that the less worldly a woman was, then the less likely she would see the ugliness that he became. You know what I mean? And the ugliness that is Lorne Armstrong. And I think that's the tale, man. I think that's what attracts me. And I don't know if I'm fucking talking out of my neck or what, or I'm way out of fucking pocket or what. But, you know, just, I don't know. Let me know what you think, man. I'm sorry I rambled so long, and bless you guys all, man. And fucking, I might delete this video in a couple days if it's stupid, or, but I'm just tripping right now. I just had a good ass talk with my neighbor. It's an old tough guy, and fucking, I don't know, we just had one, bro. And like, we fucking had a few beers, and I'm just tripping and fucking just having a fucking interesting fucking night. It's very cerebral, and I think a lot of you guys probably are fucking deep thinkers. I know for sure a lot of you guys are deep thinkers, because all that stuff that seems silly is not that silly when you start to evaluate it, and when you write it down. The more that you know about it, like, the more epic it becomes, and like the more interesting. Like, everything that you learn, it fucking puts something else in a different context. And that's why I do those videos, you know, like Lorne Armstrong, what's wrong with his fucking head? Why does his fucking face look like that? What does his eyes look like that? Was he always evil? Was he planning to build a sex dungeon? You know what I'm saying? Fucking check out my other videos. I rambled too long. God bless, man. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Tell me in the comments. Don't tell me in the comments. Fucking love you guys, man. God bless.